Today I want to talk about modern philosophers, logicians, etc. Well, with the bomb in 1945, uh, this bomb put an end to the modern man's age of innocence. So people were disillusioned with this violent, foolish, between brackets, bloody creature which is man, and even disillusioned with his language. So they tried to find some alternatives to seek the truth. You can't find it in man's language, said some of them, so you have to find alternatives. And here comes some big names like English philosopher Bertrand Russell. But this great name, who died in 1970, came to be remembered just as a political activist, pacifist against the war on Vietnam, and the one who married 4 wives. He married his 4th wife when he was 80 years of age. She was his young student, and they got a few kids. But as a logician and as a philosopher, he wrote some 70 books and thousands of articles. Some of them were very influential, and people usually quote one of his sentences, which says, "The King of France is bald." Well, this sentence is false, obviously. Ever since 1789, depuis 1789, la France n'est plus une royauté, mais une république. So there is no such entity as the King of France. But if we said the King of England is visiting Morocco, well, since the entity King of England exists, then we will see if the property of visiting Morocco is true or false, and then the sentence will be either true or false, depending on his visit. Now, another sentence usually linked to Bertrand Russell is the village barber. So you have the King of France and the village barber. The village barber was supposed to shave all those who cannot shave themselves. Well, this sentence created a problem. And then he had an answer from another philosopher, this time a German, Gottlob Frege, who said it's just some totter, the way that a drunk walks, is like dizzy, yes, it's arithmetic totters, like a drunk walker, sorry. Now, moving very quickly to the other philosopher, modern philosopher and mathematician, who's called Frege, German Frege. Well, technically speaking, Frege and others had rejected classical logic in favor of predicate logic, arguing that natural languages were too floppy, ambiguous, and helpless. They rather suggested mathematical language as the basis for adequate explicit reasoning. Like in the sentence, a doctor told the patient he was insane. This sentence has got at least 3 possible readings. So, either it's the doctor or the patient or someone else. So they used X's and Y's. So they would say Y, doctor between brackets X, and patient Y, and tells an X, comma Y, insane X. So you have all mathematics. Frege also drew a distinction between atomic sentences such as Judas is a sinner, and complex sentences containing quantified and coordinated or negated sentences such as every man is a sinner. The truth of the latter depending on the fixed domain. Every man is a sinner. The truth of this sentence is disrupted once we consider Jesus as a man. Another distinction is drawn between singular and universal propositions. the latter containing either a universal quantifier, an existential quantifier, or negation. All men are sinners, some men are sinners, no man is sinner. So negation is further divided into propositional and predicative negation. It's not the case that Socrates is wise. Socrates is wise. The distinction was used as a criterion for atomic versus complex dichotomy. Of course, there are other philosophers who were also disillusioned with man's language and suggested relativism or natural language, or even Chomsky in mathematical syntax that we will see later on. Thanks.